Rule 36(4), 10% rule. Now, this particular rule is there since 9th October 2019, and it has been reduced from 20% to 10% from 1st of Jan. And since this particular rule restricted the availment of input tax credit by any taxable person to the extent of input tax credit which is available in his GSTR 2A, meaning thereby where the supplier has uploaded the details of supply in his statement GSTR 1 within the due date. And once he has done it, it will be reflecting in his 2A. A recipient can avail the credit to the extent of the credit which is available in 2A, and the input tax credit which is not available in his 2A can be availed up to the limit of 10% of such available credit. So meaning thereby I have a total credit of, let's say, 100 rupees. Out of this particular 100 rupees, 80 rupees has been uploaded by my suppliers on their portal and is visible to me in my GSTR 2A. Now 20 rupees is the ITC which is not uploaded by my suppliers. In this particular case, I will have to restrict my available credit up to 80 rupees plus up to 10% of such 80 rupees to in respect of invoices which are not uploaded by the supplier. So that particular amount becomes 88 rupees. Now, in this COVID period, when the dates have been extended, there would have been a big challenge with the recipients to file their return under the effectiveness of Rule 36(4). So ultimately, government has capped or deferred the application of Rule 36(4), but this particular application has not been done away with, meaning thereby the rule applies, but its application has been deferred. Now, what does the meaning of deferred? The notification number 30 by 2020, it says that Rule 36(4) for the months of February, March, April, May, June, July, August, so effectively 7 months of 2020, shall be applied in a cumulative manner, and the return of 3B for the tax period September 20 shall be furnished with the cumulative adjustment of ITC for such tax period. Now, sir, what is the implication? Let us look at it by way of an example. In this particular slide, you can see that ITC which is available to the SSC for different months and vis-a-vis the ITC which has been uploaded by the supplier. So in normal times, if 36(4) would have been applicable, if for February 2020 the total ITC available is 1000 rupees. Now, when I say this ITC, I am excluding three things. Number one, import of goods, IGST, which has been paid on that. Number two, any GST which you have paid under reverse charge mechanism. And number three, the ISD credit, because all of them are available without the application of 36(4). Now, having said so, this particular February 2020, I have ITC credit on the purchases made from the registered suppliers across the country. In this particular case, the uploaded credit by the suppliers in GST and I would have been given a total credit of 800 plus 10% of 800, which is 880, vis-a-vis 1000, whichever is less. I could have taken a credit of 880. However, government says no. For the period from February 2020 till August 2020, let the rule be seen in a cumulative manner, meaning thereby you don't have to see the rule month by month. So one can avail not as much credit as he wants, but available credit as per Section 16, meaning thereby other conditions and restrictions imposed by Section 16 and Section 17, barring 36(4), will be applicable on the assessee. So now in this particular case, a person who has a eligible input tax credit of 1000 rupees, where there are no block credits, he can avail the ITC of rupees 1000. Even though the suppliers have uploaded a less amount of data on their portals. Same will be the case for March 2020, April 2020, May 2020, till August 2020. So that liberty is there till August 2020. But now what does the notification says? It says the entire adjustment need to be done in the return GSTR 3B filed for the month of September. Meaning thereby, in September, rule GSTR 3B will be applicable, 36.4 will be applicable, and also it will incorporate the shortfall which is there on account of rule 36.4 from February till August. So it's a very simple mechanism to be worked out, nothing very complicated. You can simply avail the entire input tax credit which is available from February till August 2020 in respective month. And in September 2020, whatever is the credit available in totality, you can see to that vis-a-vis the ITC uploaded by the supplier, and the balancing figure can be availed as input tax credit available in September. Now, again, there are a lot of questions which have come up, but before that, the figures are in front of you. So for period February to August, you can see I have availed full input tax credit which was available to me. In September, there was a credit of 1400, but the total credit which was available from February to September was 8700, and the uploaded credit was 7200. So 7200 plus 10% compared to 8700, whichever is less. So 7920 is the total available credit for the period February to September. So I have adjusted the shortfall of the preceding months in September and taken the balancing figure, which is the difference between 7920 and the accumulation of all the above figures in this particular month. So my dear friend, you can see that this is not a very complicated exercise, but however, I'm just putting a caveat here that this particular working is made by me and it is not prescribed in the rules. We hope government will also come out with a similar or will with their version of the adjustment, because when they have used the word cumulative adjustment, this particular word has not been explained by the department. So they have to come out with a clear mechanism as to how this cumulative word will be read as. Another question which comes up is, sir, can we take the credit of quarterly suppliers in full? Yes, sir, you can take the credit of your quarterly suppliers in full during the months from February to August 2020. Meaning thereby you don't have to wait for their due date of filing of their quarterly return. And therefore that particular in abeyance of 36.4, you can avail full ITC as you had been doing prior to October 2019. Third question which comes up, sir, there is a lot of unavailed ITC because of application of 36.4 lying with me for the period prior to February 2020. Can I avail that? Sir, for the period prior to February 2020, if you have any ITC which is not availed on account of 36.4, will not be available on account of abeyance. But yes, if your supplier has uploaded that detail in your GSTR 2A, you can definitely take that particular credit. So please do keep this thing in mind that this is applicable for this period only and to the extent of credit availed during this particular period only. Suppose there is a credit which you have not availed in past. Now, please understand, it's a very sensitive question. Somebody can say, rather than saying, sir, I was not able to avail this particular credit because it was not availed on application of 36.4. I forgot to avail this credit. So though it was available, but I forgot to avail this. And for the first time, I'm availing in February 2020. Now it's a very thin line. Nobody can decide. Nobody can determine how a person whose credit belonged to a period prior to February 2020 has not availed because his supplier has not uploaded in 2A, had not availed it in past because of forgetfulness and not on account of 36.4. So one substantiating point or fact can be, sir, see, my books contain the entry of credit in February 2020, though the entry pertained to January or December. So there was an invoice of an auditor which was received in December, and this particular gentleman had forgot to upload the details in GST1. Now the assessee has booked the invoice of that consultant or whomsoever in the month of February only. Now there will be a big debate between government tomorrow and the assessee, that in the cases where the details are not uploaded and Rule 36(4) has been put into abeyance till September, a person who is availing a credit for a period prior to February 2020, can he avail that particular credit in full in February 2020? That is one thing which will be definitely be contested by both sides very strongly in the coming times. Second, ITC जो सर्कुलर नंबर 123/42 है, so 140/23/42/2019, it is talking about the date on which you have to ascertain that 2A, on which you need to pull out your 2A from the GSTN portal so as to determine the 10% rule. So it has said it will be the due date of filing of your GSTR 1. But my dear sir, in this particular case, the GSTR 1 due date is falling after the 3B date in most of the cases. So what will happen? Will I not be able to pull, or can I pull it on my due date of filing? Sir, to my humble opinion, since the date or the application has been kept in abeyance to this extent for a limited period from April February till April returns, government will not contest this particular point. The amounts which are not uploaded for the period from February 2020 till August 2020 till filing of a September return will definitely need to be reversed by the person. Another question which comes up is, sir, what if the figure which is right now 620, if it comes to negative figure? Sir, then in my humble opinion, kindly show that particular figure in the column other reversal in 3B. Input tax reversal, other reversal in GSTR 3B, and pay the amount by using your cash ledger. Now, in this particular case, a person might feel a pinch of its working capital pressures, but having said so, the rule will be cumulatively applied for the entire period. So, if someone believes that a person from whom he is procuring the goods or services is a habitual defaulter, that particular person should not take any chances of availing such particular credit, because ultimately this will be a burden on him. Next question which comes up is, since we are reversing the entire amount in September from February till August, do we need to pay the interest? No, sir, you don't need to pay the interest. Since the government itself has obeyed the application of 36(4), you can be safe in assuming that no interest will be applicable, because section 50 does not, which is a principal charging section for interest, does not envisage this particular condition of deferment by the law. Another question which comes up in Rule 36(4), so what will be the mechanism of reversal? Now, sir, again, this is one question. I have given you my working of as to how the reversal should be. However, government should come out with a mechanism, because anything where there is mechanism is not clearly provided, the assessee will not be able to make a proper compliance. So somebody would say, okay, since credit is not available in September, adjustment cannot happen in September, and let us wait till October or November, whenever the adjustments can happen. Someone can say, sir, in September also the quarterly return filers are not filing their return up to the due date because their GST 1 is usually later. In those particular cases, this particular extension is automatic. So there will be many arguments which will come up later as how to make the adjustment and what are the shortcomings in making the adjustment in the month of September. We have to be very cautious. We have to keep things very simple. And we should believe that this particular rule is only aimed at providing a short-term relief and not an absolute relief. So it is just easing out the working capital, but it is not doing away with the responsibility casted on the assessee in terms of 36(4). So there is again problems which will come up in terms of 86A, because in this particular case, there can be assessees where 3B of the recipient is filed before the filing of 3B of the supplier. The due dates are like that. In that particular case, will I need to reverse the ITC? No, sir. In that particular case, also you are not, because 16(2) condition of non-payment by this supplier will not be seen from the perspective that the due date is still pending. And today, when the recipient is availing credit prior to that date, the denial of that particular input tax credit cannot be taken. More particularly, when we have seen that the due date of returns have been kept same as 20th of the succeeding month, but a late fee waiver has been granted to the assessees. My dear friend, in this particular case, a lot of assessees will try, I'm telling you, the big companies will try not to pay the interest even for a small period, but to comply with the law and file their return in time. So their return will be much before the due date of or the extended late fee waived date of that particular assessee who is a supplier. So you will be finding these kinds of issues in the coming time in the actual market scenario. Now, having discussed 36.4, I hope there are queries which will definitely be there in the minds of the listeners. But yes, this particular topic will need to be more clarified by the department. I hope the chart which I am sharing with you should remain same, and the figures should be similar in terms of the balancing figures should remain the way I have explained. I'm not saying these figures, but the way I have provided these figures, definitely that should be the intent of the government in the circulars or in the clarifications which might be provided. However, my humble request is, since it's a cumulative adjustment, kindly please try to comply with 36.4 to the extent possible in respective months.